Talk about a really bizarre story. It involves the world's most famous arena, an inept team owner with a history of being a jerk towards his team's fans, a notable entitled superfan, and the perennially crappiest team in the NBA. Honestly, I don't know who to believe in this ongoing saga between director Spike Lee, New York Knicks team owner James Dolan, and Madison Square Garden. Sometimes, everyone involved in certain situations can be wrong. Or right. You see my problem? Now help me out on this week's edition of Out of Left Field. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me once again on OLF for MRC-TV. I'm Nick Kangadis. Race-driven director Spike Lee caused an uproar in the sports world, particularly among basketball fans, when he appeared on ESPN's First Take on Tuesday to explain his side of the story that apparently involves the Knicks and owner James Dolan asking Lee to use the VIP entrance to the Garden instead of the entrance that Lee claims he's used for the last 28 years, the employee entrance. Let's take a look at Lee's side of the story first. The 62-year-old 25th Hour director says that he went to the Garden to attend the Knicks hosting the Chinese money-loving Houston Rockets. Lee claims he entered through the employee entrance, the entrance he says he's used for the last 28 years of being a season ticket holder, and had his ticket scanned before being stopped by security on an elevator. Lee said security asked him to leave the building and enter through the VIP entrance 2 blocks away. Lee told ESPN he wasn't made aware of the rule change, if there was even a change in the first place. And if there was a change, Garden security didn't enforce it a few days prior. Take a look.
I've been coming through this entrance for 28 years. Plus, Wednesday, historic event, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. They had a Broadway, they took To Kill a Mockingbird and had a performance for 18,000 New York City public kids. Amazing event. Where did I go in? The employee entrance. That was Wednesday. And at first, they never said when the thing changed. So, why not call me? When my deposits due was astronomical price for Knicks tickets, and I'm 1 day late, my phone is ringing off the hook.
Speaking of the astronomical price of Knicks tickets, Lee reportedly pays $300,000 a year for courtside season tickets to watch the Knicks. Listen, if you have the money and you're a super fan, do it. But in the last 25 years, the Knicks have become the laughing stock of the NBA. Think the Cleveland Browns without the lovable losers tag. They're once again one of the worst teams in the NBA this year. Enter Knicks owner James Dolan, who has presided over the team since its free fall began. He's often credited as the worst owner in the NBA in terms of providing his fans with a product worth coming to see. Dolan has doled out multi-million-dollar contracts to players that either haven't panned out or just don't gel with their teammates to create a winning environment. However, in the interest of fairness, let's take a look at the Knicks side of the story. Quote, "The idea that Spike Lee is a victim because we have repeatedly asked him to not use our employee entrance and instead use a dedicated VIP entrance, which is used by every other celebrity who enters the Garden, is laughable. It's disappointing that Spike would create this false controversy to perpetuate drama. He is welcome to come to the Garden anytime via the VIP or general entrance, just not through our employee entrance, which is what he and Jim agreed to last night when they shook hands," unquote. Notice how not only does the post include a picture of the pair shaking hands, but the Knicks PR team also made it a point that the last thing you read in that statement was that the two shook hands. That's what we call doubling down. Lee has since said that taking the Knicks' poor record into account to go along with this incident, he's not going to be attending Knicks games for the rest of the season, which there's only 11 more home games at the Garden anyway. So you see my conundrum as someone analyzing a situation here. On one hand, you could point out that even though Lee has allegedly used that entrance for 28 years, why did he ever feel entitled to use the employee entrance in the first place, considering he's never been an employee of the Knicks? On the other hand, if an organization allows a certain practice for a number of years, why would Lee think he couldn't go through that entrance? The answer is that he wouldn't. However, again, who do we believe? Lee says this entrance rule came out of nowhere, while the Knicks maintain in their statement that they, quote, repeatedly asked him to not use our employee entrance, unquote. Of course, in situations of entitled babies crying over things the rest of us would never imagine, there is also a third option in analyzing this situation. Grow up act like adults, and get over it. And that goes for both Lee and the Knicks. If in fact Lee has gone through that entrance for 28 years and absurdly pays well into the six figures for his tickets, why wouldn't he feel entitled? At the same time, Dolan and the Knicks have the right to run their arena during their games as they see fit. They reserve that right. Now, I don't know. I guess in the end, for me, I'd go with option 3, grow up. Sit down like adults. Either come to a compromise or don't and move on with your day. If the Knicks want Lee to use another entrance and Lee wants to continue watching his favorite team, then that's what he's got to do. If Lee decides that $300,000 a year to sit courtside to watch his favorite team isn't worth walking 2 blocks south to use the same entrance as the rest of the celebrities in the world, that's his decision as well. What do you think? Who's right in this situation? Is Lee right for once? Are the Knicks right in this case? Heck, is it possible they're both right or wrong? Let me know. I'd love to see your take on this story. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a share. Those are the best ways to let us know you want us to keep these videos coming. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that YouTube might let you know when MRC-TV comes out with a new video. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis.